Spiritual practice is a practice of a seeker. What is the difference between a spiritual practice and a religious practice? Both are good. I'm not talking of any negative aspect of either one. I'm talking of the positive, good aspect of a religious practice and a spiritual practice. Religious practice is based on some faith, some belief. Compared to that, what is a spiritual practice? Some people have spiritual practice, at least in California, which is based on belief also, which I think is rather comical. Again, I'm not talking of bad practitioners, I'm talking of good practitioners. A good religious practitioner is trying to reinforce his belief. Whatever does not work for that person, he keeps questioning, is my faith not enough? Is my belief somehow lacking? Okay. Which is a good approach. There is nothing wrong with that approach. It's a very different approach to a spiritual practice. A spiritual practice is a practice of a seeker. Compared to a believer, he is a seeker. A seeker, one who is a spiritual practitioner, would constantly have an idea that I don't know, I'm going to find out. Religious practice differs in that it says, I don't know, God will bless me. If the blessing happens, it's a good practice. For a seeker, if the seeking allows him to see what he is, that's a good practice. In either case, the negativity comes of judging yourself, I'm not good enough. That would be a serious mistake. What is kind of comical about I am not good enough is it assumes I know who I am. If you know that, you would not have a problem. Do you have ever a sense that I am not good enough with regard to anything? How would you deal with that sensation? It's a very peculiar sensation. In a way, it's an escape. But let's say it's not an escape. Then what's wrong with that conclusion? As I said, you're assuming you know who you are. And then that one who assumes that is saying, I am not good enough. Yeah, when you say that to yourself, you are very quickly assuming that you are this body, you are this mind. Even if that assumption is, let's say, correct, you might say, no, forget all that esoteric stuff. I feel I am the body, I feel I am the mind. Then don't say, I am not good enough. Say the mind is not good enough or the body is not good enough. Don't turn it into, I am not good enough. To know I am good enough or not, you have to know I. How many people do you know in your life who know I? Probably none. Breathe to get into that posture. My friend George Purvis used to bring little flashlight. You would light it under your knee. If any light comes out, it means your knee is not properly grounded. No air should escape for sure, but no light should come through also. So whatever part of the leg is struggling, with your hand check whether your thigh is down, your knee is down. Of course, for that you should be sitting down. But if I'm seated right now on a blanket folded. Okay. The distance between the back of my thigh and the floor should be the same as the thickness of the blanket or less. But any more thickness than that means I am really not working on the knee going down.